A very brief summary of Western history, Part 1 of 4, Ancient and Medieval History to AD 800, an intro for kids, from Sanger Academy. Long before history started being written, people hunted animals for food and gathered nuts and berries. In the Ice Age, ice covered much of North America and Europe. So on this world map, the white areas were covered with glaciers like this in the Ice Age. People hunted giant hairy elephants called mammoths. 8000 BC. Around 8000 BC, in the Fertile Crescent, so this was after the Ice Age, people started farming for their food. Here are some early farmers. The Fertile Crescent stretched from Egypt to Mesopotamia, which is the area between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. People who farmed near each other came together to make towns, and then cities, like Jericho. (2500 BC). In 2500 BC, the ancient Egyptians built the Great Pyramids. This was so long ago, the Greeks did not have a civilization yet. Ancient Egyptians wrote hieroglyphics on tomb walls. So this right here is called hieroglyphics, a kind of writing. 400 BC. The Golden Age of Greece happened in the 400s and 300s BC. The Greeks began writing and thinking in ways that no one else had done before. It was the start of Western civilization. An artist thought ancient Athens looked like this. Pericles was a famous leader of Athens in Greece. Socrates was one of the first great philosophers. Alexander the Great conquered much of the world that the Greeks knew then. The Roman Republic lasted from about 500 BC until 23 BC. The Roman Republic was ruled by the Senate. One of the most famous of all Romans was Julius Caesar, the man who turned the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire. 1 AD. A little before 1 AD, Jesus Christ was born. After he lived, Christianity began. This changed the way many people thought and lived. Here is a famous painting of the birth of Jesus. While the Bible of the Jewish people is called the Old Testament, or Tanakh, Christians also believed in the New Testament, which told the story of Jesus, among other things. In 79 AD, the volcano Vesuvius erupted and buried the town of Pompeii. You can actually still see the ruins of Pompeii in Italy. 100s AD. All the dates after this will be AD, which means after Jesus. In the 100s AD, the Roman Empire was at its biggest. It was huge. Here is Augustus, the first emperor of Rome, and a Roman centurion, or military leader. The city of Rome might have looked like this. 300s AD. In the 300s, Emperor Constantine I became a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ. The Roman Empire became Christian too. Here is a sculpture of Constantine I, or Constantine the Great. 400s. Then, in the 400s, the Roman Empire was invaded by barbarians, and the Roman Empire fell. The Middle Ages, also called medieval times. After that, from the 400s until about 1000, Europe became less civilized. Few people lived in cities anymore, and there was less writing and less art. This was called the Dark Ages. Most people were peasants, poor farmers. Here's a medieval castle. Monks, religious men, helped the poor and copied books. Medieval knights were fighters who wore armor, fought with swords, and rode on horses. 600s. Around 610, Muhammad started a new religion called Islam. It became very popular in the Middle East, North Africa, and Spain. 700s. People from Scandinavia, which is in Northern Europe, were called Vikings. Viking men were warriors, which means they liked to go to war. Around 790, the Vikings started using their ships, called longboats, to invade other countries. The end.